Hi everybody, my name is Martin Hill. So yesterday we had three speeches in Scotland, three visitors, Nick Clegg, Ed Miliband and David Cameron. I don't really want to say too much about Nick Clegg because, to be honest with you, since he turned his back on the students in England, people in England and probably definitely people in Scotland care zero about Nick Clegg. Don't trust him. For me, he's wiped off the map. But if we have a look at Ed Miliband and Cameron's speeches, I mean, on the face of it, I thought their two speeches were probably as well as they've spoken in a long time. If we look at Ed Miliband first, I mean, look, it was quite a good, passionate speech for Ed Miliband. But let's look at it. Basically, he tries to crawl when he's speaking. And he tries to say, like me, like me, like me. And the more he tries to crawl, the more he says, like me. First of all, he wants to be liked as a human being. He hasn't been accepted as a human being yet. And in life, when people crawl and try to be liked, you tend to back off a bit. And that's what people in the audience, you could see even an invited audience and people watching, probably do. You tend to back off with Ed. Because it comes over as a little bit fake. There's too many hand movements, all this pointing of the fingers all the time, hand on heart, orchestrated hand movements. It's really false. You know, they're trying to sort of change the way he speaks, I get the feel. They're trying to experiment. You know, Ed, today we've made you a speech, here it is, we've written it all for you, don't worry about it. That comes across as well. You can tell that he hasn't written a word of it. And they're trying to change these sort of emotions in the speech. Do it really, really go for it this time, Ed. Show your real passion. Next time, let's do a low-key speech. And you can see the cracks, and you can see that someone's almost tried to teach him how to do that speech. So it ain't working. And there's some moments in the speech, I've got a few bits written down here that he mentioned. You know, I don't like the dad's references and the family references that much. He keeps bringing his family into it as if people, he's bringing his family into a speech. How lovely is this? I'm really going to listen now. My father was a Marxist. Do you think anybody in Scotland who hasn't got a job, is on housing benefit, getting tax credits, going to a food bank every so often, do you think they care that your dad was a Marxist? First of all, they probably don't even know what a Marxist means, but they don't care. You know, I think you've got to get off this family connection stuff. And he also made two references. I met a man in a shopping centre. Did you? Really? You met a man in which shopping centre was it? It just sounded a little bit fake. And this man said to me that he cared about wages and jobs. And let me tell you, back into the speech, let me tell you that voting no doesn't mean no change. There will be plenty of changes. All fake. And I also met a great-grandmother today who said her kids she lives in Scotland and her kids live in England and she doesn't want her great-grandkids living in a different country. I didn't really believe that story either. And then he was talking about his father was stationed in Scotland and he wants to take his kids to visit Scotland and show them where Grandad was stationed in the RAF. What if they vote yes, you can still take them? You have to go over a border to take them, but you can still take them. When you go on holiday, you have to go over borders. What's the problem? But, you know, I don't believe Ed Miliband. The fact he's trying to crawl and be liked, he still hasn't got over that first step. So for me, the speech, although it was one of his better ones, it's not his speech didn't work, he doesn't work for me. Cameron, again, I thought it was, again, one of his better speeches. It was very low-key, he tried a different approach. I'm going to sort of just give it the me, human approach. But again, really, the trouble with Cameron, he's very fake and he comes over as very plastic, over posh, and he gets posher and posher and tries to speak absolutely perfect as the speech goes on. I don't want over poshness, over perfection. Again, he's trying to be liked a bit as well. You know, when you hear Alex Salmond speak and Nigel Farage, they're not trying to be liked. They just say what they feel and who they are. And they, as people, they're not perfect. They're not trying to be perfect. They just try and be them. And that's what they portray. You can like them, you can dislike them, but that doesn't change that they speak from the heart. Oh, that's another thing. Ed Miliband going on about the head, the heart and the soul. It's ironic, isn't it? Funny, I did a video about 6 months ago talking about Ed Miliband, saying that, you know, his speeches, he has a little bit of brain, he can speak from the head, but then he finds it hard to connect to the heart, you know, 20-30%, and then the 0% in the soul. And yesterday I found it ironic that he's on about the head, the heart and the soul when he doesn't really tick hardly any of those boxes. Maybe the head bit, the heart, so-so, the soul, but overall, did it do anything? Nah. Cameron couldn't even go on the streets. He had to be locked away in little rooms. Couldn't go near the people. The people that are interested in Cameron, the people hate Cameron up there. Ed Miliband, fake, plastic. Look, Scotland, as I said, vote yes. Stay away from these warmongers. They're just trouble.